Okay, so I was planning on taking like some kind of break between doing this and, or at least what we finished, and then working on recipes. But I was told I don't have a big window left to get this mod into the mod pack before they finalize. So we're gonna rush through it, and I'm gonna starve to death in the process. I did actually check in on my food. I cooked the chicken I was boiling so long, so it had been in there for like an hour and 40 minutes, that when I pulled it out, it just fell apart. Like it turned to semi-liquid before re-solidifying back into something that resembled chicken. I question if it's still edible. It looks fine, but ugh, I need to buy better quality food. I actually, when I go to the store, I buy these bags of chicken for like $4 in order to go with my ramen noodles, which the ramen noodles cost like $1 for like a pack of 12. Let's see. So I need to add a new modular here for wooden buckets, and then we need to just kind of beat through and really, really quickly just be done with this, so that way they can get it included in their mod pack. Though I do have to test this before giving it over to them. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do? There was a reason I opened this folder right before I started, and it's because I need to go actually pop into the 111 version, grab wooden buckets, pop into the 112, and then throw it in there so that way it exists. Now, hopefully, yeah, wooden or IntelliJ has been getting better about updating with files, but for some of the older versions of this software had a lot of issues with recognizing that your folder structure has changed. It actually does a catching type system where it will catch what's going on. I don't really like the fact that it does have that system, as I don't really like the idea of something caching folders because it always breaks. I don't think I've had a piece of software that's ever cached folder structure and it has not broken. Anyways, yes, everything is exported, so we're good here. So we go hit run, edit configurations, go ahead and set this to wooden buckets, hit play, or not hit play, hit OK. And then we're gonna hit file and rebuild, and we're gonna watch it air it out. So there isn't really much going on in wooden buckets, but the one thing that is going on in wooden buckets is recipes. And there's also a missing mapping event. I'm going to assume that if you guys are playing on 112, that you are no longer using a world that's anywhere close to 1.7. So this is everything we do have to update, though. And the cool thing about this is I can go copy the wooden shear recipe real quick and then tweak it, and it should work for this. Theoretically. I haven't really thought this through because I was planning on why I was going to eat my food on break to think this through. So I haven't actually took time to think about this, but I should be able to take these two guys, and I should be able to go up to here, and I should be able to make a recipe folder. I think it's recipes. Yep. Yeah, recipes, and it goes directly in your asset package. I should be able to just paste these in here, and then I need to. Actually, you don't need to name these in any particular way, but I do need to rename them anyways. So this needs to be renamed to bucket.z. And the reason why there's a z at the end of this is it's a sorting. I called it bunker. The reason there's a z, there's a sorting order to how recipes are registered, and whatever's registered last is what's going to be run last. And the z one is the universal or dictionary recipe, while everything else is unique. So we get this. We don't want that. What we do want is data. And this is where we have to pull up. Oh. That ain't gonna work. Well, shoot. So we have a problem, and I'm not sure how to fix it. So I was gonna just put a number here and be done with it, but there's something I forgot. The data values for the buckets are dynamic. So as you throw more mods in there that make more bucket materials, the data values might change depending on how they're loading into the game. Now, of course, there is a config that does insist that if it did load in with ID 0, it's going to always load in with ID 0 until you wipe that config out. But say you change the load order, wooden buckets may no longer hold on to ID 0. It may have ID 30 or 40. So I can't make a recipe based on that. So, that's crap. So that means we can't do anything with these, so we're going to just delete these. Add shaped recipe. Resource location, resource group, item stack output, params. There's a recipe registration event. So you know how we can register our items? Well, there's also an event that does the recipes. It's for those people, as Lex calls them, have to do it the old way. Because he, of course, wants people to, of course, use the new way. But there's something where you pass in iRecipe. I believe this is how this works. And then I can take all these guys up here, throw them into this. I'm going to put my to-do marks up here. Add crafting recipe for milk bucket. Add proper order recipe for modded sticks. Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and do this modded sticks here in a second. So we want to do new shaped order recipe. It wants a resource location. Oh, it just wants to group. I can do that. New resource location. Oh, actually, you know what I do? I don't even need to do that. I can do... Oh, no, I do want to specify a group. Domain, and then wooden bucket. Sweet. This won't be too bad. Resource location. This means I might be done here in like 3 minutes or so. So that makes me happy, actually. Although what I need to do is I need to take this part. This part goes back down here. Then I want to call event.registry.register value. And is that going to work? I think that'll work. I am going to be impressed, to say the least, if this actually works properly. Yeah, this would be really cool if this actually works the first time. Because I was under the impression that you had to use the JSON system in most regards, and I didn't think there was this easy. And this actually lets me do my word dictionary system. So there's actually an word dictionary system for this as well. That I'm always concerned if it's going to function well. I got it working with the shears, but the shears were simple because they have they use MBT. So if we had used MBT for the buckets, which I should have done because it would have worked out much better, this would have been a smoother transition. So that works, and then we have one error left. And yeah, it's because we have an extra bracket there. That looks good. So let's hit build and rebuild project. See if there's any other hidden errors. Nope. There's some deprecated stuff, of course. And what we want to go ahead and run and hit debug Minecraft and get this going. And this will be probably one of the shorter videos I've made today. And then we'll be good to go. Of course, when I originally thought about making this video, I was hoping I would actually work on the recipe so I could use this as an example to show other people how recipes are made. But this is a good example to show you how to get around having to do the new recipe system. Although I say if you do have simplistic recipes that aren't like complicated like I've got these, please use like the newer thing. And also we done goofed on that one. This needs to be register. That probably isn't causing any problems, but what did we null point on actually? Type. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a problem with how configs load. We just need to move this whole thing down here. Can even throw it in post if it becomes a problem. And go ahead and do this, and that should work. By the way, the reason I wanted to change this is that some versions of Java you run, although that doesn't actually matter, will complain if these are... Oh wait, we don't have two methods in here anyways. I don't know what I'm thinking. That's how you can tell I'm sleep deprived, is when I'm thinking in terms of the wrong Java version and I'm thinking in terms of the wrong class file. Now if we put this in the other thing, if you had two methods with the same name, sometimes it complains if you're using generics like this. So because we're using generics, it won't complain all the time when you're looking at the file using the true type system, because there's a true type system down here that actually detects errors. If you turn that off, then you won't see any errors whatsoever. But when you go to compile, it'll go, oh, you're using, this can't work because there's ambiguity. We don't know what method to use. Because generics aren't kept. That's something they don't really teach you when they teach you generics, is that generic is a pre-compile system. It doesn't work after you compile it. What it does is it just, anytime it needs to use a generic, it casts itself back and forth. And that's how it functions. Anyways, we're working. Yes. We're going to have test the recipes. So this is where we're going to spend the rest of this episode doing, is we're just going to spend the rest of the episode ensuring that this works from start to finish. So the recipe should be wood, cacti, and string. It's actually pretty cheap when you think about it. I might replace the requirement for the cactus, because I've been told by a few people that getting your hands on cactus early game is actually harder than getting your hands on iron, which I do agree with. Of course, I've played Minecraft quite a bit, so I know that the recipe doesn't exactly make sense, but I was trying to appease certain mod pack makers. I think I'm going to use sugarcane is what I might end up actually using, because it sort of makes sense. What was I looking for? Crafting table. What? Apparently the lava fire thing is more aggressive now. Okay, so if I put this in here, I should get an oak bucket. And I'm not. What did I miss? What's the deal with not working? Probably because it's not actually... Oh yeah, it needs dye, not cacti. I don't know what I'm thinking about. One thing I've also noticed, by the way, with the new version, if you open and close a crafting table, instead of dropping the items on the ground now, it actually will give them back to you, which is really cool. Still not working? Oh yeah, it's not string, it's a stick. Derp. Yeah, we're having one of those moments where the author does not understand how to craft his own item. Okay, it's still not working. What did I mess up? Okay, dye, stick, planks. Why you no work? Planks. I think the original recipe was actually cacti. And then it got changed to dye for some reason. This is where having JEI would be useful. Maybe I need sticks across the whole row? No. You know, I'm probably thinking is that this event's not firing correct. Oh, is it in the static? Yeah, static. So, yeah, it's not gonna fire. I actually know why we're not getting anything. I forgot a step. So many derps a day, and I've derped a lot. Probably gonna actually catch my food on fire again. So as soon as I got the chicken done, the next step was to cook ramen noodles. I haven't thrown the ramen noodles in there, but I have thrown water in there, and my luck is that it's gonna boil over by the time we're done. Or actually rather boil dry. Which would be rather sad, because the whole reason of cooking chicken in the first place is that it actually will saturate the water with fats and stuff. So when you cook the noodles taste so much better, even though it's not exactly healthy for you. Yeah, there we go. So we're actually registering recipes now. And then I need to replace this with the ore dictionary value, which I can go look up real quick while we're waiting for this to load. So ore dictionary. So in the top of the ore dictionary, it actually does register things. So we want to grab the stick value. And of course we want to do dye as well. You know what? I'm going to allow any dye to function. So it just has to be a dye. But I don't care what it is. You know, of course I'm probably going to have to change this later, because somebody would be like, oh, you added wooden buckets. Can you add collared wooden buckets? And then I'll be like, but I already used the dye in the recipe. But they're like, oh, but can you do that one thing? And I've had people argue with me. on a subject for like days, just because they want to get it to work. Even though the reality is you can change these recipes really easily. There's actually tons of mods that exist, and the thing is, Voltage, which is one of the mods I'm developing, has its own recipe override system in it. So when people complain that they don't like the recipes, I'm like, just take this script file, change the values in it, and then you can have your own recipe. There's supposed to be a stick in here somewhere. I think it's literally just called stick. Oh, it's called stick wood. So we'll go ahead and change this real quick, and that way we get a fully OR dictionary recipe out. The only thing that won't be fully OR dictionary is there won't be a unique material type per wood, which actually, now I'm thinking about it, I could write a model render system that could take the wood, sample it, and then make a bucket material automatically. Okay. Did we actually load or did it crash? It crashed. Can't use a null name for the registry. What? What do you mean a null name? I don't see any nulls in there. Okay, I'm confused. Precondition. Precondition check not null. Can't use null name for group. So it's looking for key. Value.get registry name. What the hell is that? Forge registry. Okay. Do I have to set the registry name on the recipe? This is what I feel like I'm actually going to have to do. Set. Oh my. Sweet Jesus. That's a thing. I guess I just call it whatever. Bucket.wood.oak. That's an unexpected thing. And of course I'm going to have to make sure each one of these is unique, and this one's going to be just called Z. Or wood.all, that's what this is actually called. I know, I'm going to put Z in there because I have a feeling that like the registry name actually does matter. Anyways, we need to make sure each one of these is the correct types. This is going to be spruce. And eventually, if I figure out how to do the JSON recipes, which I know there is a way to do it, we'll probably use these same names. Because I believe what these are is these are the file names is how this works. But I don't know for sure. Anyway, so go ahead and set those. And actually this one is going to be, I'm going to have to change the name of this one's going to be how do you do this one? It's going to be maybe item stack get item get registry name, or fuck it, we'll just put the item stack at the back. It'll work. It just won't be pretty. So let's see, we just gotta wait for this to load, and hopefully it works now. It's a little weird you have to set a registry name though. You would think it would just figure out some way to default the recipes maybe, but it crashed again. Add item. Null point exception. Is it really calling add information before? And you know what, because we're going to have to just do the whole thing, because every single time I've ever had a problem with this is every single one of those will null point on me. Watch capabilities null point on me too. The reason I say this is I've programmed a lot of different things for Minecraft, and some of the things I program are control handlers, so inputting things from your Xbox remote and keyboard, mouse, and stuff like that. And for some reason, your code will get called before Minecraft itself has even been made, which makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. Let's see. So just keep testing this, I guess. Get it working. As soon as we get this all functional and we know all the recipes are functioning and everything looks nice, we'll go ahead and build it. We'll then test it in a live client and a live server to ensure that it is not going to crash on us. That's where it's going to get a bit interesting, is I don't know if the server is going to compile correctly, and that's the part that's going to probably catch us, because the build scripts depend on the Maven working, and then the Maven depends on the build server working. So if the build server doesn't work, then the Maven doesn't work. Anyways, go ahead and do this. Click, click, click. Sticks. Cacti. Bucket! All the buckets! Buckets. Buckets for days. Bit happy about this. I actually, one of the things I want to do to troll people here later when I get ICBM updated is I want to make a missile that fires buckets. And anytime on the server when somebody asks for a bucket, it's like, oh, I need a bucket to do this, I'm going to be going like, hey, have some buckets, and all of a sudden then just a giant missile releases thousands of buckets in the area. So that works. We'll go ahead and test a few more of the material types. Yeah, that'll work. Of course, this will cache the recipe for us while we're at it too. So if we actually go, and I believe this tab, and we click this, we can actually select which recipe we want to pick. I really actually like that, because it's getting to the really close to some of the stuff that we mod developers have been building for the game for a very long time. And actually, no, I can just click this, and that saves me like a few seconds. But yeah, so like a lot of mod developers have been building things like this where you can select your recipes. There hasn't been anything like this cool though, because I gotta admit, Minecraft itself has done a pretty good job. But then again, they had a system like this for the Xbox and Android version for a really long time, because expecting somebody to manually put items in a crafting grid on those systems just was not a good idea. So it looks like all the recipes are working. I don't have a wood type that isn't not a vanilla type, so I can't test to see if the universal recipe works, but it looks like the specific recipes are functioning. And then really quickly, because I keep forgetting to do this, I need to take a screenshot of the updated tab there. That way I can show that everything is working. And I think I have been actually clicking the screenshot button a few times, but for some reason there's an issue with Minecraft where keys are not going out of the game. So if you have a hotkey system, like for example, Dropbox has a system where you click print screen, it will actually save a screenshot for you. I've played some mod packs and it just flat out won't work. But in this case, at least it is working. So we're updated. We're good. So what do we need to stage here? So fixed MPE with add information for item. Go ahead and push that up. And then, of course, we want to go ahead and push up the fact that we just worked on wooden buckets. And I need to set its version. So we actually want to go pop up to here, go to the build.gradle, and then set its version to 112. And hopefully we can get this thing to compile, but I don't think it's going to work. So actually I need to make a branch, 1.12. And then updated to 1.12. More likely what I'm going to have to probably go do is go set the version number for Fluid Handler Modular, and that's probably going to be to work on it. But you know what, rather than sit here and like drive through all the testing and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and just close this episode out, and I'll get to the testing here on my own, but I'm going to probably have to beat my build server to death repeatedly before it functions. I'll keep you guys informed on Twitter of the status.